anything.
It's not about business.
And I'm not talking, I'm just letting you know that.
Stepping on the last train, watch me like a bloodstain.
Wicked people. So, for my visually impaired people, let me give a rundown of what occurred, right? And for my folks who can't read, because, look, you know, in the U.S., there is a literacy problem, but whatever. Okay, that's beside the point. So, this person posted, this is a Nigerian individual who was born outside of Nigeria. Now, I don't know if this person was born in America or the U.K. I don't know, right? But this person said, hey, if you guys are going to Nigeria this December, be careful, because my parents went last year and they were abducted on their way from the airport. They were taken to the forest, beaten and held hostage for 4 days. And basically, we had to come up with ransom money to get them back, right? So this person said all this, and I have something to say about this. As somebody who used to babysit for a Nigerian couple, something they said came to my mind when I watched this video. Now, I've mentioned on YouTube before that back when I was in 7th grade, I got kicked out of school, y'all. So I had a lot of free time on my hands, right? So my family lived in this apartment building, and there was a Nigerian couple who lived down the hallway, okay? So I think my parents met them because my dad plays chess and the husband also played chess. So they used to play chess together, right? I think that's how they met. I don't know. But this couple had a baby, and they were very busy because they were both in medical school, right? And I had a lot of free time on my hands. Like I said, I got kicked out of school anyway, right? So I was like, hey, I can babysit if y'all need me to, right? And indeed they did. Now, I remember at one point, I believe the wife's mother came to help with the baby because they didn't need me to babysit for a while, right? Because the wife's mother came and stayed for like a month or something. She stayed for a while, right? And I remember I asked them, I said, oh, are you guys ever going to take the baby back to Nigeria to visit? Because, you know, like your mom came here from Nigeria. Are y'all ever going to take the baby over there to meet the family or whatever? And when I tell y'all, they were like, oh, when I said that, I'm not even joking. They were like, oh my God, no, they would kidnap her. And I remember I was like, what? Because, you know, I didn't know nothing about Nigeria or Africans or nothing. But I remember I was just like, dang, y'all can't even take the baby home. She Nigerian. She can't go to Nigeria. Like, what's up with that? Now, I largely forgot about that interaction until this moment. Isn't it crazy how, like, stuff be in the back of your mind and you don't even know? Like, that was 16 years ago. I haven't thought about that since. But this video, like, triggered that memory, right? And in this video, the person who posted it mentioned, like, oh, as Nigerians born abroad, this was a very complicated situation, so and so and so, right? And I make a lot of videos on YouTube about the diaspora. You know, I used to title those videos Diaspora Discussions, right? And oftentimes I talk about how a lot of times when Africans and Caribbeans, I'm throwing y'all in the mix too. Like, what? Okay. A lot of times when these people are born abroad, they have very negative views of their home countries, right? And that results in stuff like these people pretending to be Black American and making fun of the people from their home countries, right? But we catch the flack for it because they're pretending to be us due to their own self-hatred and hatred of where they come from. And I'm not lying about this, y'all. Like, I remember one specific video I made about this. This happened in the UK, right? That's the only reason they didn't blame Black Americans. But usually they would have blamed us anyway, even if it happened in the UK, right? There was a woman in the UK. Mind you, all the Black people there is African and Caribbean and stuff. There was a woman, and I believe she was African, right? And she went to some school to, you know, present whatever, you know, talk at some assembly. And there was a guy from Africa who also presented at this assembly. And she said that the students in the crowd were making fun of this African guy's accent. Mind you, the students were African themselves. So those students were making fun of the same accents that their parents had. Like, what? But, you know, I had this whole conversation in this video where I was like, y'all have a lot of self-hatred and, you know, a lot of animosity towards the places where you come from. And it gets to the point where you pretend to be Black Americans because you dislike who you are so much. And we catch the flack for stuff like this. Because if this happened in the United States, even if that was a group of African students making fun of an African man's accent, you know good and well Black Americans would have been blamed because those African students would have had the same accent as us because they grew up here and they're pretending to be us, right? You know good and well that we would have been blamed for that. I remember, I think it was a Caribbean, and I can't be sure, and I'll tell y'all why, right? This person commented under my YouTube like, yeah, I live in America, and Black Americans used to tell me, go eat your fried bread, or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is fried bread? Like, Black Americans don't even know what the fuck fried bread is. You really think we was saying that to you? Clearly, whoever was saying that to you was somebody who is from the same background as you, quite literally, right? This happens more than you guys would like to acknowledge. You guys make fun of the fresh off the boat folks who are from the same places as you, but Black Americans get blamed for it, quite literally. Now I'm thinking, I don't even know if they said fried bread, because I just Googled what is fried bread. That's a Navajo dish. I don't know what they said. Whatever they said was some shit Black Americans don't eat, don't talk about, don't know exist. I was like, we wasn't the ones making fun of you for that, baby. The call is coming from inside the house. But let's get back to this situation where these Nigerian people went to their home country and got snatched up, like literally, and their children who were born abroad had to come up with the ransom money, right? Imagine what complicated feelings you would have for your place of origin if something like this happened to you, right? Like, let's just put this into, let's put this into Black American terms, right? Let's say that I'm from Detroit and I marry a man who's also from Detroit, right? But then we move out to Beverly Hills or something, somewhere where the rich folks live, right? And we tell our kids, you're West Detroitian. You're from the west side of Detroit. That's your roots, baby. But we also tell them Detroit is so dangerous that you can't go back there. Like if you go there, you might get snatched up, right? Imagine the complicated relationship that they would have with Detroit, because that's their place of origin. They West Detroitian, period, no matter where they was born. But they can't even go back to Detroit and embrace who they are in its entirety. Now, this is what I've noticed from the outside looking in, right? On one hand, these Africans and Caribbeans who are born abroad, they will look at their home countries and not have favorable opinions for whatever reason. Maybe it's something like this. You go home, you get snatched up and held in the forest for 4 days. Or you go home, it ain't no sewage or plumbing or nothing. It's just like, what the heck, right? So on one hand, they look at their home countries and they like, not really. But then on the other hand, they want so badly to be embraced by those people. Like, they wish they could go home and go to the market and not be upcharged because they have an American or a UK accent or something, right? They wish that those people embraced them as the people of their country and didn't call them akatas and stuff, right? It's funny because this is the thing, y'all. So Nigerians have this word akata, and basically it means, a wild animal born outside of its home. Is basically making fun of slavery because Black Americans were born outside of the African continent due to it, right? But take a look at this, y'all. Your own parents who are from Nigeria couldn't even step back in their country. How do you think that you will fare if you try to go to Nigeria? If your parents who are from Nigeria, baby, they know the ups and downs, right? They're Nigerian through and through. They blend in. If your own parents who are actually from there couldn't go there without being targeted as outsiders, what do you think you're going to go through if you try to go to Nigeria? So please tell me, who is really the akata, bitch? Because it really feels like y'all are projecting y'all insecurities onto Black Americans.